And classes Governor of Nagaland, Professor Jagdish Mukhi, launches the Eduversity Cares 2 in Kohima, an initiative a girl student to get 2-day leave during her initial period of menstrual cycle. And now the news in detail. On the occasion of the Foundation Day of Nagaland, people across the state were seen celebrating its 59th Statehood Day on Wednesday. Chief Minister Nafurio, while addressing a gathering at the celebration of the 59th Statehood Day at Nagaland Civil Secretariat Plaza, Kohima, said that Nagaland occupies a unique position in the Indian Union with special provisions in the Constitution and continues to earnestly wait for a solution of the Nagaland political issue. He further said that dialogue and negotiations between the Government of India and the Naga political groups have reached a stage that gives hope of an early solution. In continuous effort to provide world-class infrastructure to the people, the long-awaited Capital Cultural Hall will be inaugurated today by State Chief Minister at Kohima, which has a seating capacity of 1850. On the occasion of the statehood celebration, Rio also launched the National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy, Bharat Mission in the state to strengthen and ensuring that every child attains foundational literacy and numeracy. Notably, a total of 8 contingents participated in the march past, followed by a musical representation by Nagaland Armed Police Training Centers, Brass Band and 15th NAP IR Mahila, Pipe Band and cultural dances by various cultural troops. Meanwhile, Rio also inaugurated a photo exhibition in glimpse of the history of the state.
Warm greetings to the people of Nagaland on the occasion of the 59th Statehood Day. As we celebrate this day, our heart are filled with gratitude to all our leaders who played a pioneering role in the creation of Nagaland, the 16th state of the Indian Union. This year's celebration also coincides with the ongoing nationwide celebration to commemorate 75th years of India's independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and the great achievement of its people. It is close to 6 decades since we got our statehood. In this period, the quality of life of our people has improved significantly. The expansion of health and education facilities, road and power infrastructure have been especially impressive. Despite achievements in various fields, a lot remains to be done. The government is committed to take necessary steps for all-round development and to ensure that our people are provided with the best opportunities for growth and progress in our state. While our state occupies a unique position in the Indian Union with special provisions in the Constitution, we continue to earnestly wait for a solution of the Naga political issue. The dialogue and negotiation between Government of India and the Naga political groups have reached a stage that gives us hope of an early solution. On our part, all the elected members of the state have come together to form an opposition-less government in the form of United Democratic Alliance. And our efforts to facilitate an early settlement of the Naga political issue. Through this united front, we aim to convey the voice of the people to all stakeholders involving in the negotiations.
The 2021 edition of Nagaland's emblematic Hornbill Festival, Festival of Festivals, began on Wednesday after being celebrated virtually last year due to the COVID pandemic. The opening ceremony will be held at 4 p.m. at the traditional venue Naga Heritage Village, Kisama. The 10-day cultural and tourism extravaganza would comprise of 700 separate events in a traditional format and would receive diplomatic guest representatives from the US, Germany and Israel. The state's big event will showcase the diverse Naga ethnicity through folk dances, traditional music, tribal rituals, indigenous games, local cuisine, handicraft, artwork and textiles. However, amidst rising concerns of the Omicron variant of coronavirus, the Nagaland's Tourism, Art and Culture Advisor H. Kihovi Yepthomi urged the citizens to strictly follow the COVID-19 SOPs and assure that all the 17 representatives, tribal troops, members have been fully inoculated. Day 1 of the fest would witness events such as Naga Chef, Season 8, Kings of the Hills, Ke Jakeno People Festival and Art Exhibition come sail and wid up with vibrant live concerts at our Sempa. Nagaland Chief Minister Nltv on Wednesday extended his greetings to the people of Nagaland on 59th Statehood Day. Rio noted that this historic day is celebrated remembering all those who worked to ensure the establishment of Nagaland as the 16th state of the Indian Union. He further encouraged the people of Nagaland to work together towards genuine peace, oneness and progressive change. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended his greetings to the people of Nagaland. Modi remarked that the people of Nagaland are making rich contributions to India's growth and further prayed for Nagaland's progress in the years to come. Notably, Nagaland became the 16th state of India on December 1, 1963. The Department of Health and Family Welfare Office Kohima held a press interaction on 30th November. The press interaction took place about the advisory safety for the upcoming Hornbill Festival background. Public health and safety measures were strongly recommended during the Hornbill Festival. Agencies and volunteers were asked to check the use of mask at all entry points. With no mask, no entry policy, any person not following the rules were to be fined mandatorily. Food and beverages should be served only at the morungs. COVID-19 vaccination of domestic visitors. All eligible domestic visitors, including artists, performers, shall produce vaccination certificate in soft or hard copy or SMS front unless medically contraindicated. Visitors shall be given the option to vaccinate at the venue with a valid photo ID. This policy shall apply to all events under the Hornbill Festival. A medical stall with COVID-19 vaccination facility shall cater to anyone willing to get vaccinated for the entire 10 days for both first and second dose. Symptomatic visitors shall not be allowed to enter the event. Testing booth will be made available in the first aid stall. All possible measures shall be taken to avoid crowding. Hand washing points with soap and water shall be made available at the strategic points. There shall be continued messaging on COVID-19 vaccination. Use of masks and other safety measures will be made through announcements and other IEC platforms.
That a special COVID care management center has to be created, and at the Hornbill Festival site, a medical team will be stationed there to do their duty in whatever way that is to be followed. And we have been in touch with the tourism department, and all the due SOPs and whatever advisory that is required from the department, this has been shared with them. And whatever activities that we have performed so far, this has been communicated to the government. And this Omicron virus
The Deputy Commissioner Mokuk Chong issued a circular on November 30, reiterating the November 27 order of Nagaland Home Department's COVID-19 SOPs for Mokuk Chong district. The circular notified that various social, academic, sports, entertainment and cultural, political and religious functions should be observed outside containment zones beyond 50% and up to 100% capacity with only fully vaccinated participants. Public transport services will operate beyond 50% and up to 100% capacity with both passengers and drivers fully and or partially inoculated with proper maintenance of cab. The DTF COVID-19 Mokuk Chong was also directed to regularly inspect public gatherings and disseminate appropriate actions against organizers and participants violators of the SOPs. All inbound travelers to district are also required to comply with aforesaid vaccination conditions and adhere to COVID-19 APT behavior. The maskless public are warned to face with a penalty of Rs 200. Gordon Graham Prize for Naga Literature 2021 Prize Award function was held on 30th November at Jaffu Hotel, Kohima to conclude the 2 days book exhibition and sale of works from Naga authors. The guest of honor for the prize distribution ceremony was Chief Minister of Nagaland. Dr. P. Nuli spoke on behalf of the Kohima Educational Trust and the Kohima Educational Society. In his speech, he spoke about then young captains Gordon Graham, who fought in the Battle of Kohima. The two winners of the Gordon Graham Prize was V.O. Poe for his book Waiting for the Dust to Settle, which fell under the fiction category, and Wongt Chingmang for his book The Chang Nagas, which fell under non-fiction category.
And always remembered the contribution and his appreciation for the Nagas remain. We learned that, and therefore the idea of trying to help the Nagas or building up the doing something which for the younger generations, you said monuments of living, something which will, the legacy will go on. We really appreciate, and with that, among the Naga society, setting up this Kohima Education Society, this partnership, this friendship has bridged the British legacy and the Nagas. And in this connection, I heard the members of the Kohima Education Society were also invited to Paris for meetings. And in one of the occasions,
Twinsang District Task Force for COVID-19 had a meeting at DC's Conference Hall, Twinsang, on 30th November under the chairmanship of ADC Twinsang Ajit Kumar Verma. Task Force members reviewed the latest SOPs issued by the state government. The House discussed on the concern of new variant of COVID-19 during the time of festivity and expectations of returnees from outside the district. The House is also of the view that only strict compliance to preventative measures will be the only solution to contain the spread of the virus. The House also agreed to reactivate the check gate to supervise the inbound vehicle to check the compulsory mask wears and vaccination status of the passengers. The House also decided that the Pastors Union Twinsang Town will consult with the medical department so as to sensitize using church as a platform for congregations, tribal leaders, COC1 and all ward union Twinsang to sit a meeting with its members for the awareness of vaccination and COVID appropriate behaviors and to submit the minutes to DTF. It also decided that the police department will enforce the previously passed guidelines and SOPs in the district. Governor of Nagaland, Professor Jagdish Mukhi, launched the Eduversity KS2 on Tuesday at Hotel Vivor, Kohima. This initiative is said to help girl students to cope up with monthly cycle without compromising on their studies and classes. Chief Operating Officer of Eduversity Group, Prakash Nayak, remarked that under this initiative, a girl student will get 2-day leave during her initial period of menstrual cycle. Furthermore, Mukhi urged the group to be torchbearers for excellence and remarked that their main objective should be to identify talented students and produce IAS, IPS and IFS officers. Deputy Chief Minister of Nagaland, Y. Paton, inaugurated the Statehood IG Stadium bypass, Kohima on Tuesday. A brief inaugural program was held near Kohima Institute Orphanage, Destitute Orphanage at NH29. While speaking at the occasion, Paton appreciated the efforts of the department officials led by South Division Engineer and team for their diligent work and completing the project on time. He further explained that the road in the districts of Wokha, Mokukchang, Tuinsang, Longlang and Zunheboto would shorten the distance by 6 kilometers and therefore relieve the citizens. The bypass would also aid travelers from Secretariat, IG Stadium, Teenpatti High School and other surrounding areas to travel to Dimapur through Kohima. Two tribal-based parties, including ruling BJP's LI IPFT on Tuesday, began their 2-day demonstration in the national capital demanding a separate Tipraland state for tribals. Bharatiya Janata Party's junior ally Indigenous People's Front of Tripura and Tipraha Indigenous Progressive Regional Alliance, headed by Tripura's Royal Scion Pradyut Bikram Manikyadev Burman, stated their 2-day sit-in Jantar Mantar, Delhi, led by their leaders. Hundreds of members of two tribal-based parties took part in the demonstrations, where Congress Rajya Sabha members Jai Ram Ramesh and Shiv Sena's deputy leader in the Rajya Sabha Priyanka Chaturvedi took part. Opposition parties put up a united front and staged a joint protest in front of Gandhi statue inside the Parliament's complex on Wednesday against the suspension of 12 Rajya Sabha MPs. Former Congress President Rahul Gandhi joined the protest, and so did the Trinamool Congress, which had so far been staying away from opposition meets. Holding placards, the protesting MPs raised slogans against the government and demanded that the suspension of Rajya Sabha members be revoked. Leaders of several parties, including the Congress, TMC, SP, DMK, Shiv Sena, TRS, NCP, CPI, M, CPI, RJD, IUML, NC, LJD, RSP and Kerala Congress took part in the protest.
सिंपल मांग है कि शीतकालीन सत्र में जिस तरीके से सस्पेंड किया है एमपीज को इंक्लूडिंग मी, वो सस्पेंशन रिवोक करना चाहिए और इस तरीके के अनडेमोक्रेटिक प्रैक्टिसेस पार्लियामेंट्री डेमोक्रेसी के लिए हानिकारक है, उसको बंद करना चाहिए.
The overall air quality in Delhi remained in the very poor category on Wednesday morning as AQI stood at 316. System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research has urged the people of Delhi to reduce intense physical activities which may lead to breathing problems. In Noida and Gurugram, the AQI was recorded at 346 and 334 respectively. Notably, due to air pollution and bad air quality, residents of Delhi have complained about various respiratory diseases which they are facing. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court on Monday expressed concern over the rising level of air pollution in Delhi and amid the looming danger of COVID-19 and question authorities over the measures that are being implemented to handle the situation. Taking serious note of extreme pollution, a special bench of the Supreme Court asked the Delhi, Punjab, Haryana and UP governments to explain the steps they have taken in compliance with directions by the Commission for Air Quality Management in Delhi NCR to improve the air quality of air. The Supreme Court have set December 2 as the date for the next hearing on the matter, however, asked the governments to file compliance affidavits by December 1.
के आसपास मैं निकलता हूँ ऑफिस के लिए, तो उस टाइम भी मुझे प्रॉब्लम होती है, आई में आंख में जलन टाइप के होते हैं। फिर मॉर्निंग में जब मैं उधर से 4 बजे ऑफिस से निकलता हूँ और घर के लिए, तो उस टाइम भी फील होता है। देखिए, सबसे बड़ी रीज़न मेरे अकॉर्डिंगली तो लग रहा है कि पॉपुलेशन, क्योंकि पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है दिल्ली की और यहाँ पे गाड़ियाँ हद से ज़्यादा हैं। एक व्यक्ति के पास 2 से 3 गाड़ियाँ हैं, जो कि रोड पे सारे गाड़ियाँ चल रही है। सबसे ज़्यादा मेरे को लग रहा है कि ये गाड़ियों के कारण ही।
अभी तो दिवाली के बाद से बढ़ गया है और मुझे लगता है कि ये हर साल होता है। तो इस सिचुएशन को कंट्रोल करने के लिए सरकार को हम मतलब शुरू से ये चीज करना चाहिए कि दिवाली में मतलब पोल्यूशन बढ़ जाता है, तो फिर ये लोग बोलते हैं कि गाड़ियां बंद करो, ये करो, वो करो। इस चीज को पहले से देखना चाहिए।
Health Department on Wednesday morning said that 6 international passengers arriving from at-risk countries, which include those that have confirmed cases of highly transmissible Omicron strain, have tested COVID positive in Maharashtra. All 6 are either asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic, and their samples have been sent for genome sequencing, and contact tracing for all 6 passengers is underway. Starting from 1st December, airports in India have enforced strict quarantine and testing rules for passengers from at-risk countries amid growing concern over the entry and spread of the Omicron COVID strain in India. A total of 27 players were retained by the respective franchises ahead of the Indian Premier League mega auctions, which will see 10 teams battle it out between themselves to rope in the finest cricketing talents. The usual suspects such as Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and MS Dhoni will remain where they are, but Punjab Kings will see a new skipper in place after KL Rahul decided to be a part of the auctions. Previous editions runners-up Kolkata Knight Riders have retained under Russells, Sunil Narine and Venkatesh Iyer, and defending champions Chennai Super Kings retained all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja, Dhoni, Moeen Ali and Ruturaj Gaekwad. Sunrisers Hyderabad backed Kane Williamson to lead the franchise. Apart from him, the team also retained 2 uncapped Indian players. The most successful franchise of IPL, Mumbai Indians, have kept Rohit Sharma, Kieron Pollard, Surya Kumar Yadav and Premier seamer Jasprit Bumrah. The Bangalore franchise have retained former captain Virat Kohli, Glenn Maxwell and Mohammad Siraj. Rajasthan Royals have backed their skipper Sanju Samson, Joss Butler and Yashasvi Jaiswal. Two brothers died after they came in contact with a 11,000-volt wire passing over their house in Delhi's Rohini area on Tuesday. A third brother also received an electric shock while trying to save them but survived. The police said that the two brothers, identified as Govind and Davendra, were electrocuted on the terrace of their rented flat. Initially, one brother was electrocuted when the other one tried to save him. He too got electrocuted. The third brother rushed to save them and it touched them but survived. The police said nothing suspicious has been found in the deaths. The Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, has put a hold on the selection meeting for the upcoming tour of South Africa. Board is waiting for clearance from the government before going ahead with the tour. South Africa has been identified as at-risk country after the emergence of the Omicron variant of the COVID-19 virus. The selection meeting was planned for just after the first test in Kanpur. The players who have been rested for ongoing home series against New Zealand were supposed to undergo a 5-day quarantine before entering South Africa on the night of December 8. The players have not been intimidated yet about the exact itinerary, Men in Blue is waiting for clear communication from BCCI as after the end of the T20 series, they were informed that they would have to be in quarantine in Mumbai by December 3. Manchester United interim coach Ralph Rangnick will be unable to take charge of the team for Thursday's Premier League clash with Arsenal as his work visa is yet to be finalised. The club said on Tuesday, adding Michael Carrick will remain caretaker. United named German Rangnick as interim boss until the end of the season following the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Rangnick, 63, will then continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Rangnick was announced as interim manager on Monday, but the club follows the regulatory process around a work visa, so Carrick will continue at the helm. In another deadly shooting incident at Michigan High School in the United States on Wednesday morning, a second-year student opened fire and killed 3 fellow students and injured minimum 6 people, including a teacher who sustained bullet injuries. Among the deceased students in the incident were a 16-year-old boy, a 14-year-old girl and a 17-year-old girl. The New York Times reported that this woeful incident was the first shooting incident after a rampage at Oxford High School, north of Detroit in Oakland County this year. That is all for now. Keep watching Nagaland TV for more news and updates.